How's it going, everyone? VenomousStare here, back with another StarCraft 2 high-level 2v2 game. Our usual suspects in the blue are OutNow Savagewood playing Zerg, who has fast expanded, made his pool, and is now getting gas, and Elusive Smoke, who has gone double gas, is making a reactor on his barracks and a factory. The opponents today are going to be Confed, Japocalypse. He's playing Zerg, opening with a little gas build, and he's already expanded. And his Terran buddy has made a Reaper and has made a factory, and his name is Ja. And his clan tag is Tootsie. He's also expanded, and the Zerg has expanded twice. So, let's talk about this map, 2v2. It has, I really can't remember all the 2v2 map names. It has some ridiculous name like Fields of Death and Slaughter or something, and it's a pretty good map. It's one of the ones that people never really veto because you have two safe bases, which is kind of rare in 2v2, and then you can pretty much take this one if you can defend this choke, which you can after double expanding, and then this third is also easy to take because the only other entrance is rocks. So it's definitely more macro oriented than many of the others in the map pool. And if we see, I don't know why that didn't work. Oh, because my screen was over at Kappa. We see a starport coming from Ja, Tootsie Ja, as well as a tank, and he's double producing Marines, so possibly a siege tank drop. They're talking about removing the siege tank's ability to stay in siege mode and be picked up and dropped. It's hard for me to say whether or not I like that. It's definitely annoying in Terran versus Terran to deal with, but I kind of prefer to watch Marine tank styles to Marine mine styles, so I think they should keep it. I think it rewards micro too, like if you want to be really obnoxious with micro. And I think that's one thing that should be encouraged in StarCraft. Like, I think there should be lots of tools in the game for players to be able to showcase micro, even if it's very specific and kind of nuanced. Speaking of which, we see a Widow Mine drop coming from Elusive Smoke. This is going to get a lot of kills. That's pretty good. 5 and 3, so 8 kill Widow Mine. Where did the medevac go? Beats the hell out of me. Oh, it died. To the Liberators, I guess. And we see Ja making another factory, and he's going to scan, and the Liberator's going to clear the mines, but 8 kills is not bad, especially early game. If we see Japocalypse has 36 drones, and he's behind Savagewood despite his hatchery opening, so Elusive Smoke, with that little drop, getting his fellow Zerg comrade ahead, and we see Savagewood going with Spire. Savagewood, which is me, by the way. Goes Spire in a lot of his games. I like Spire because it allows you to control the map almost in every situation, whereas roach-based armies can sometimes be limited, especially on maps like this. Like I was saying earlier, if they just siege tanks and set up perimeter, there's really no way to attack. But with Mutas, look at all this airspace I have to duck and dive around. Speaking of ducking and diving, Elusive Smoke is trapped between a rock and a hard place. He's going to boost, and Elusive Smoke going to run into this mineral line with some mines. Needs to bro them both. There he does. Ja not responding. And that was pretty flaccid as they both get a kill each. I don't know how the hell that even happens. And we see Tootsie Ja scanning away another one of Elusive Smoke's mines. So Elusive Smoke being really obnoxious with mines as both teams are electing to macro here. And finally Savagewood's mutas are popping. And he's going to force a cancel on the CC as well as kill a Liberator. And he split up a couple mutas. Maybe it might have just been waypointed and A moved, but damaging an Overlord. And Ja's going to come out and try to help defend Japocalypse's base. Now, obviously, Japocalypse is going to be fine. Spore crawlers do lots of damage to mutas, and he had more than one. And you can't really fight into static defense until you have about this many mutas, but spore crawlers do bonus damage to bio. Wait, yeah, plus 30. That's what I thought. So that just means that in a when mutas fly into spore crawlers, they do significantly more damage to the mutas than like a missile turret would or a spore crawler would do to any other structure, because there's no other flying bio unit. I'm sure a lot of people already knew that, but if you're new, maybe you didn't. This is like I was saying, this map is very macro oriented, so the OutNow boys are harassing a bit with the Muta and the drops, but both teams are just kind of macroing. As you see, Elusive Smoke has this gold base, and he's taking a fourth. Savagewood with Overlords. This is really good. If you're new at Zerg, you want to position your Overlords over the mineral fields that are close to your opponent's base, because then you can see when they expand. We see Savagewood coming in here. Those libs do splash damage, and those spores do a lot of damage, as I mentioned earlier, so he needs to be careful, as he's going to lose a Muta there. But he does kill a Liberator. And if we look at the Harvester count, the red Terran, Jaw, is very behind. His third base was incredibly delayed by Savagewood and Elusive Smoke, both of them harassing in conjunction with each other. However, Japocalypse has a lot of Mutas, and once you fall behind in Muta versus Muta, it's very hard to come back. So Savagewood definitely not expecting those Mutas there. My dogs are going crazy. Hey, come here. Come here. Savagewood's Queen gonna die here. It's running to the Widow Mines for safety, but neither mine goes off. Metavax being paired with Mutalisks, and if you're new to 2v2, Metavax plus any Zerg unit is like a very strong combo, because remember, the Zerg units are all biological. So Elusive Smoke, horrendously late turrets here. The Mutas were seen very long ago. He's gonna really lose his mineral line for no reason there. And we see Jaw trying to expand again, that Overlord finally being cleaned out. But Elusive Smoke has another base and is building 3 more turrets and is building another base up there, so as long as the OutNow boys figure out a way to deal with Japocalypse's Mutas, they should be fine. The problem is once you fall behind Muta versus Muta, it's very hard to come back, like I said. And what I mean by that is, once one player gains the Muta advantage, it just kind of snowballs. That's the nature of a mirror matchup. So after Japocalypse caught Savagewood off guard, he had the Mutalisk advantage, and if we go to the Units tab, he still does. And Jaw is pushing at the same time. We see a drop going on from Elusive Smoke. Killed the Queen. He's going to do more damage. That's going to force Japocalypse back, and the Terran Jaw is going to think about aggression. However, he's going to scan and try to clear some creep here. And if we look back in the main, that drop doing what it was supposed to do, not win the game, but draw the enemy player back. And Savagewood has enough Mutas to just run out and fight this, and he's going to reinforce with Banes and Lings here. Banes running into tanks, that's pretty sloppy, but after you commit to running that close to tanks with Banelings, you're pretty much going to lose them. And we see Japocalypse still has the Muta advantage, a severe one, almost double, but he's going to fly right into the Marines of Elusive Smoke. Tried to catch Savagewood off guard there, but Elusive Smoke was ready to help. And he's going to chase out Japocalypse, who can't afford to throw away his Muta advantage. And it's very close now, as you see Savagewood just a few behind, but Savagewood producing 8 more, as well as defensive upgrades. We look, Japocalypse going in to try to kill a Spore Crawler. Dangerous business. Savagewood not quick enough to react. However, Savagewood does have the superior upgrades. We see this base being mule hammered. Finally, Jaw getting the economy he needs. Still very far behind. So Elusive Smoke only has 33 workers. Losing 12 there hurt him a lot, but he's really not been reproducing them adequately. Japocalypse running in here, picking off fragmented troops of Elusive Smoke. More coming forth, as well as the Mutas from Savagewood. In Japocalypse, this is key in Mutaverse Muta. Not getting upgrades, that's very bad. His multitask also being taxed very hard. This base is not being droned adequately. And he's going to fly into a Widow Mine there and take a lot of damage. And Savagewood sees this because Japocalypse is over his creep, and he's going to try to press a fight. Oh, Widow Mine going down there, and Savagewood gonna take that one, so a little bit more even fight. As we see another droopy drop in the main from Elusive Smoke, units being stemmed forward, nice multitask, and Japocalypse retreating to his gold base. This drop is doing damage. Savagewood running forward, and if we go to the units tab and on this Muta vs Muta fight, we see that Savagewood did finally get a Muta advantage, but once Liberators show up, they do severe splash damage, especially to Mutas. Elusive Smoke stemming forward though, helping out his partner. The OutNow boys definitely showcasing some synergy here. As I said that, they're going to fly in kind of disjointed. Savagewood losing a lot of his mutas, and I guess I cursed them, Kappa. Joke. I hate it when people say that. Baneling's coming forward here. It doesn't actually matter. Elusive Smoke running forward with Stim Bio. You know, the macro of Japocalypse was really getting sloppy there. He was over-harassing with mutas and not focusing on units enough. Plus his partner was kind of just leaving him out to dry and being worthless, which is kind of why his macro slipped. His jaw took so long to get that third base. We really just saw he was never able to recover or really be useful. He was fucked with so much by the harass. So the OutNow boys showcasing a cute way to play 2v2. Harass one player to the extent where they're useless and then beat the other guy 2v1. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. I try to throw in little noob tips into my cast because I know StarCraft 2 is really difficult to learn, and there's not as many good pro gamers streaming as there used to be, so you got to do what you can to help the new player.